Hi everybody, I hope you're all well. This is part 31 of 31 Days in August. Yes, this is the finale, the last chapter, the last part, the last episode, the final video of 31 Days in August. There won't be any more daily videos. Well, actually, technically there will be, but not part of this whole 31 Days in August thing. Okay. Today's comic is quite close to my heart, really, for some of my favourite reading material. The main character in this title is one of my favourite authors of all time. He's synonymous with horror stories. There are so many movies that can trace their origins back to this author. And the way this comic, it's not actually a comic, it's a graphic novel, but the way this graphic novel has been done is such an amazing intertwining between reality and fantasy, that you could quite easily believe that all the strange things that are happening in it could have happened to Lovecraft. This was brought out in 2003 by DC Vertigo. It's by Hans Rodionoff and Eric Brasier with Keith Giffen. You all know I'm terrible with names. As I said, if you don't know who H.P. Lovecraft is, he is one of the best horror writers ever. Basically, he is probably best known for the Cthulhu stories, and bringing what are now known as the ancient gods, the ancient ones, into the modern psyche. As I said, this graphic novel intertwines reality with fantasy. It starts off with H.P. Lovecraft's father being committed in a mental home. The reason why his father was placed into a mental home was because he had extramarital intercourse with a woman, but turns out that she wasn't a woman. She was one of the Ancient Ones' minions, so she, in human form. The part in the beginning of the story where Lovecraft's father is having sex with this woman, and she says to him, "Look at me, look at me when you're having sex," and he looks at her and he sees her with all these tentacles and tendrils and that coming out of her body. That imagery is replayed again later on with H.P. Lovecraft when he is making love with the woman that would soon be his wife. We follow Lovecraft's childhood. His father has in his possession the Necronomicon, which is the book of all the spells and all the stories of the ancient gods. One of those being the god Cthulhu. His father tells his mother, Lovecraft's father tells his mother to burn the book because it's evil and it's a gateway to the other realms. But his mother doesn't burn the book, and H.P. Lovecraft manages to get his hands on the book when he's a young boy. and he reads some of the stories and passages in the book, slowly opening the gateway to the other realms and the old gods. There's a interesting part here where the young Lovecraft meets up with some vagabonds who attack him, and as H.P. Lovecraft is running away from them with the Necronomicon in his hands, the vagabonds get attacked inside a tunnel by an unseen entity. Whether this is something that actually happens, or whether it's all in the minds of H.P. Lovecraft, or whether it's just an interpretation of what happened in the real world from the writer of the comic, is left up to the readers to make up their own mind on this. It follows Lovecraft through to his adolescence, where more and more strange things happen to him. People around him shift their perception. They one minute they look human, next minute they look like they're some kind of strange, grotesque entity that is just in human form to, you know, walk around among us in day-to-day living sort of thing. And again, we don't know whether this is something that is just going on in Lovecraft's own mind, whether it's something that's actually happening, or whether it's just an artistic licensing take on, you know, what really did happen in the real world. And that's one thing that I love about this, that there's so much with the, I mean, H.P. Lovecraft has got so much mythology just around him, not let alone the stories that he wrote, but there's so much mythology around the actual real person that sometimes the barriers between reality and fantasy do get blurred. There's even been a few sort of straight to DVD or straight to video movies that were made. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's been a couple where the main character in the movie has been H.P. Lovecraft, but he is being written into the movie as one of the characters in one of the stories that he's written, that's been published. And it's, you know, there's a lot of stories now, a lot of movies, a lot of bits and pieces about H.P. Lovecraft, where the reason why Lovecraft wrote these stories was because he was actually living these horrific things that were happening in the stories. He in the graphic novel, he gets attacked by a disciple of Cthulhu, one of the main ancient ones that's in a lot of the stories that he's written. Yeah, it is just absolutely fantastic graphic novel. If you can get hold of the trade paperback or even the hardcover that I've got here, if you love horror stories, and if you like H.P. Lovecraft, then you will absolutely love this. It I'll show you some of the artwork in it as well. As the story goes on, from the beginning of the book, the artwork is quite normal. You know, it at the beginning of Lovecraft's time with having the Necronomicon, and the artwork is quite normal. You know, everything looks relatively as it would do in the real world. As the comic goes on, as the story goes on, the reality in the artwork shifts. where in the beginning of the comic the colours of the drawings and that are quite moot. They are very they're dull, they're toned down. As the story goes on, and as Lovecraft gets older, and as he's becoming more and more enthralled by the Necronomicon, the artwork gets more hectic. The colouring, the colour scheme in the drawings gets more vivid. There you go. As he's meeting his future wife. Yeah. You can see that the artwork at the more Lovecraft descends into the madness of the Necronomicon, the more the world around him gets crazier and crazier, until right at the end, where he enters the realm of the Ancient Ones and just barely manages to escape himself. Finally, everything reverts relatively back to normal. Like I said, if you like horror stories, if you like horror comics, or just horror in general, horror movies, or any kind of thing like that, you couldn't go far wrong with getting this. It's definitely one of those things where, like I said, you need to think about how this is written, and it makes you think of, did that actually happen? Was Lovecraft really seeing all these strange and grotesque creatures, and that's how he got the ideas to write the stories he've come from? Or was it just the fact that he was a literary genius in the realms of horror and fiction and fantasy? So there you go. That is the last daily random comic review for the time being, at least. I'll see if later on in the future I might do another one like this. It does take a lot out of you, I'll tell you. But it's been fun. I don't know how it's been with you guys out there watching these videos every single day, but I've had a lot of fun doing them. Obviously, you've got the day-to-day things that you do, to make ends meet, and so you can buy all these great comics, and then to come home after reading the comics and do a video and trying to review the comics that you've just read, that's been in your collection for goodness knows how long. It is quite. I didn't realise how time consuming it was going to take. It was going to be, actually. When I first started doing this, I thought, yeah, well, a video a day, that's going to be easy, no problem, walk in the park, By the 7th or 8th video, I realised what I'd done, and I was thinking to myself, this isn't going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be. But I did it, and I suppose that's one thing I can tick off my to-do list. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. As I said at the beginning of this video, it is the last of the daily videos that I'll be doing, sort of. I'll be doing another video tomorrow, because I shall be picking up some comics tomorrow, so I'll just be I'll just be doing my usual unbagging video that I usually do once a month. Sunday will be the raffle draw for everybody who has given me 2 numbers over these last few weeks for the the viewer's choice random comic generator thing that I've done. If you've already sent me a message to say that you don't want to be entered into the raffle, that's not a problem. I don't have any problem with anybody saying they don't want to be entered into the raffle if you've already given me numbers. There's no problem whatsoever with that. I have no problem whatsoever. It just means that there's more chance for other people to win the prizes. So no worries at all. And I've just realised as well, I realised a couple of days ago that next Tuesday will be my 1 year anniversary. So I've got to do a video for that, don't I? So it's even though it's officially, this video is the last ongoing daily video that I will be doing, it's not going to be the last daily video, so you ain't going to get rid of me that easily. So I'm so I'm celebrating with a little drink, and yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow for my comic book unbagging video that I will doing, and for Sunday for the raffle, and we'll see what happens next Tuesday for the 1 year anniversary of me being on YouTube. Wow, scary. So again, thank you everybody for watching. Thanks everyone for subscribing, for giving me the 2 numbers for the random comics, and just for watching. If it wasn't for the fact you were watching, I probably wouldn't be doing these videos in any case. So thank you, definitely thank you for being there and watching these videos. So yeah, take care, see you tomorrow, and ta-ta for now.